Well, the polls are set to open in Virginia's gubernatorial election, where Republican Ed Gillespie and Democrat Ralph Northam are locked in a dead heat. But in a state that typically turns blue, are voters already reacting to Donna Brazile's revelations about the DNC? Let's ask President and pollster at Mulaski and Partners Lee Carter. Thanks for joining us.
Great to be here.
So these bombshell reports that are now coming out by Donna Brazile, how are they going to shape today's election?
I think that these kinds of things that happen, I shouldn't say these kinds of things, but if you remember, there was a lot of scandal about a year ago when we were going into the presidential election. I think what ends up happening is that can suppress voter turnout on the Democrat side. And when that happens, what that means is that the polling numbers could shift. And we're looking at a poll where we're really within the margin of error. If you look at the average of all polling, we're saying it's about a 2.8% difference spread. And so when you've got that happening, anything that would suppress voter turnout or change voter turnout can really have a huge impact. So if this is going to keep Democrats at home, if this is going to say some people who are on the fence are saying, you know what, I feel like the Democratic Party is rigged and the Republican Party might fight for me, I think we could see a real shift. I also think that Ed Gillespie is also known as an establishment candidate, but he is trying to separate himself from the establishment and is running much more like a Trump campaign. And so it's going to be interesting to see. I think that Ed Gillespie could surprise us all and have a really good day, not just because of what's happening with Donna Brazile, but certainly in part because of it.
Well, and we saw just about a week ago there was a 7% where Northam was trending 7% higher than Gillespie. So a little bit different than what we're seeing today.
Yeah,
right?
There's a huge shift there.
And so let's talk about moving forward. How can what kind of impact do you think this is going to have on other states as well?
So here's what I think. A lot of people are saying, you know what, the president's approval rating's at an all-time low. We've never seen a presidential approval rating this low. This must mean that the Republicans are going to get beaten in a landslide in the midterms. What I think the polls being neck and neck, such as they are, is a good indication that that's not exactly what's going to happen. As much as the president's approval rating is so low, all politicians' approval rating is so low. Congress' approval rating has never been so low. Trust in institutions has never been so low. And so we've got this environment right now where people aren't sure who to trust, where to turn for information. And so it's this very normless state of being. And so what I think that we're going to see in the elections in midterms is not what people are expecting, a Republican landslide. I think we're going to start seeing non-traditional candidates have a lot more luck than they have in the past.
What's bringing them out? What are the issues?
The issues right now we're seeing that most important are the same issues that we've had for a long time: jobs, economy, health care. And right now that plays really well to the Republican agenda. So I think it's going to be fascinating. But everybody who's out there saying that the president's approval rating is a really good indicator that the Republicans are not going to have a good midterm, I think should take a look at this election and reconsider with their thoughts, because neck and neck is still a lot different what people are projecting to happen.
And if this is our last question, but if a Republican wins there in Virginia today, that huge gubernatorial race we're talking about, what does that mean for Republicans?
I think it means that we're going to have to take another real hard look and say, you know what, the Trump agenda is winning with a lot of the people, and we can't be as dismissive as many people want to be. A lot of people are looking out there and saying Trump is a disaster. You see the mainstream media talking about his presidency as such, and yet the American people are still responding, many of them. I understand that there's many people who aren't, but you still have a large number of people who are out there really excited about the agenda, really excited about jobs, really excited about the economy, looking forward to tax reform, believing that this trip to Asia is going to bring jobs back to America. And I think that Democrats and other people really need to be careful not to be dismissive of the American people in that way.
All right, all eyes on Virginia today.